All right, well, hello everyone. It is now straight up 1 o'clock. So I have a lot to cover today. This is the Design Your Destiny with Money training. And I have a lot to cover. I actually counted, I have like 60 slides to share with you today. And so first off, my name is Dawn Priolet. For those of you who don't know who I am an intuitive energy healer and coach. And I'm going to go right into the slideshow and explain to you why I'm doing this training today. Because it kind of starts with my story as well as the story of my clients and many of you all who I have done some sessions with. I did love mapping sessions with some of you, and part of the reason why you were not able to actually join me in one of my programs, it always came down to, you know, I would love to get the training. I would love to get help in this area. And I'm really having difficulties with the money part. So I'm going to flip right over to my slideshow. And I apologize for having to do this on Zoom kind of at the last minute. But I wanted to make sure that I could actually share the slideshow. And here it is. Okay, so again, how to clear the biggest money blocks stopping you from earning and creating wealth. This is what we are going to be talking about today. And this is so important. So what you're going to learn today is you are going to actually create your personal money map of clarity, which is going to reveal exactly what and where to clear in your personal blocks. Second thing, you're going to discover the mind-body-money connection. You're going to discover the 3 aspects that you must unlock if you want to really change your money story. Third, you're going to recreate your income, debt, and savings. And you're going to see your secret inner set points that limit and sabotage your income. And then the 4th thing is that I am going to show you today your exact steps to having a completely new energy, action, and destiny with money. Wouldn't that be nice? Now, I'm going to get to the part why I'm doing this training. My own story, believe me, I am the last person that if you would have told me like 10 years ago, like you're going to be helping people with their money struggles, I would have never believed it. But because money has been one of the biggest pains for me, you know, I started out as this, you know, really giving kind of person, heart-centered healer. I started out learning Reiki, got certified in hypnotherapy. I started teaching Reiki and working with clients with hypnotherapy, and then I added EFT to that. But I always had a problem with not charging enough, you know, feeling really uncomfortable with charging enough money to where I could actually make a living. And the problem is Now, when I was in my 20s and even going into my 30s, you know, when I first started out, I could more easily, let's just put it, I could more easily be able to work a full-time job and, you know, just do my healing work on nights and weekends. But the thing is, even with doing that, I couldn't really have the kind of impact with my business like I wanted to. I wanted to be full-time. I wanted to, you know, this is what I wanted to do. And then, like I said, when I've talked to many of you out there, I did love maps with many of you. You told me you had issues with your relationships. But I found out as well that you're also having some issues with money. And so when I asked, what is stopping you from earning a living, doing what you love, and being able to join my programs, the common answer was my money blocks. And, you know, most of the people who are on my email list and follow me on YouTube and so forth, you guys are really, you are already, many of you, very, very conscious. And so, you know, you already were kind of aware that you have some money blocks. You know, you weren't blaming it on the government. You weren't blaming it on, you know, the economy and a lot of outside factors. So you guys are already, you know, many steps ahead. But this is such a common, devastating obstacle to getting the coaching support that you actually need, you know, because many of you said to me, you know, I want to join your program, I want to join your coaching, but I just have too many issues with money. I really can't do it. That dreaded phrase, I can't afford it. You know, and I want to say something about that right now because, you know, we're getting ready to go into 2019 very soon. And I want to say to you, if there's anything that you need to eliminate from your vocabulary, it is that phrase, I can't afford it. Because, you know, your words are creative. And I know you may have grown up hearing your mom say it, your dad say it, whoever, and it's just become a habit. But you really need to be more careful about what you say. And I'm hoping today I'm going to absolutely show you how you can change your whole money story around, or at least how to get a start today. So what I'm going to show you today is the light of clarity or of consciousness. I have really made it my mission to shine a light on every single bit of the limiting money programming, speaking of your family and mom and dad, and to create a step-by-step map so that you can eliminate it. I want to eliminate it from the minds, emotions, and nervous systems of everyone that I can. This is, I feel, part of my life purpose because this is foundational. Because if you don't have enough money coming in to be able to take care of your basic necessities, if you're struggling just to do that, how in the world are you going to actually be able to live your mission? How are you going to be able to do that? You can't, because you're so exhausted from working all the time, just trying to earn the money. So I have learned an important lesson along the way through my journey. And that lesson is, in order to get a specific result, we must use a targeted special approach, specific approach, not general. And this is one of the things, a lot of what you hear out there about money, a lot of it is, law of attraction stuff. And I absolutely believe in law of attraction. It's wonderful. And whether you believe in it or not, it is actually working in your life in every moment. In every moment, you are creating your life. So, but a lot of people in this industry, they talk about money in very general terms. They say things like, do you need more prosperity or do you need more abundance? And my thing was, no, I actually need money. I need money in order to pay my bills. Because you can have all kinds of prosperity. You can have a prosperous prosperity and abundance in terms of your friendships, in terms of your family, in terms of, maybe you have neighbors that come over and bring you food. I mean, you can have a lot of abundance in a lot of things in your life. But the only way you're going to be able to pay the light bill, the only way you're going to be able to pay your mortgage, your car payments, you need money. And money, it seems like, especially among very spiritual type people, it has become almost like a dirty word. And I noticed this especially in the community where I lived in Arizona. There's all this talk about money being like, we should just stop using money. It's kind of scary, really. And then people wonder why they don't have any, But the truth is, we need money in the society that we live in. And it's actually just paper. It's, which is composed of a bunch of atoms and energy that has actually come together to form solid matter. So, so I want to use an analogy about this. Like, imagine if you had a painful splinter in your foot. And imagine that you said, okay, so I'm going to look it up in Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life, the book. If you were to look that up, and it might say something about, that you have a fear of stepping out or moving forward, something along those lines. So if you started doing all kinds of affirmations about, I joyfully move forward in my life, and things like that, imagine what would happen if you did all this general stuff about, using these affirmations, but you didn't actually take the splinter out. What would your foot look like after a few weeks? So what I have come to realize is that we have got to really, really get very, very targeted and very specific when it comes to healing our money issues and really dealing with them. So think about it. Have you ever gotten that specific about money? Because that's what we're going to do today. Now, before we get started, I want you to grab a pen and paper. I didn't have time to send you guys the handout, so just ignore that. But all you really need is a pen and paper. If you can remove all the distractions, that would be great. And create the space for transformation. So this training is going to be for you whether you are somebody who is an entrepreneur and maybe you're trying to make, maybe you're just getting started and you're finding that it is not so easy when you have to actually ask people to pay you. It's a big difference when you go from getting a paycheck and that's a set amount of money and, you just get paid what you get paid for your specific job description. This is also going to be for you if you are thinking about becoming an entrepreneur. And this is also for you if you just have all kinds of money issues. And you finally want, instead of just setting, saying your New Year's resolutions, which we all do, and that's coming up pretty soon. It's right around the corner. New Year's is. I hate to bring that to your attention, but we need to think about this because it's right around the corner. And so this is really the perfect time. If you want to really change your story with money, this is where you start. You start by getting clear about it, because you can't actually handle something if you're not really seeing where the problem really is. Okay? So set your intention right now. What would you like to change? You may have something very specific in your money that you want to change. Maybe, and I'm actually going to take you through the process where we're going to actually start setting an intention about money. So let me just get a sip of coffee before we go on. So get that paper and something to write with. Because next we are going to look at the money map. That's what we're going to be working on. And it's based on the idea that there are 5 kinds of money. And the reason why I say there are 5 kinds of money, because if you just look at money as a whole, like I said, it doesn't really cause that big of an effect as far as triggering your nervous system. It's more of a generalized effect. But what I found is, in working with clients, that when I actually sat them down and said, let's look specifically at your savings account, or let's look specifically at your debt, that really triggered them. So the 5 types of money are: 1, your savings; 2 is your debt; 3, income; 4, income goals; and 5 is called toxic money. Now, thank goodness not everybody has toxic money, but I am going to talk about exactly what that is in a little bit so that you can see whether that applies to you. Now, in the 5 kinds of money, each one of these types of money has 3 unique aspects. So the first one are emotions, emotions that run through your nervous system. So as you think of each one of these 5 kinds of money, it's going to trigger certain emotions that are actually going to run through, or even you could say blast through your nervous system, because sometimes they're pretty intense fear or even sadness. The second aspect is that each one of these types of money comes with it. It has its own programmed set of beliefs, or habitual inner talk. In other words, when you look at or think about that particular type of money, you might hear like this little voice inside of your head that says something to you. So we're going to look at that. And then the third aspect is going to be past traumas that are connected. And the thing that's really going to be surprising, or might be surprising to you, is that often these past traumas don't necessarily seem to be directly related to money. But somehow our mind connected it, and it's showing up in our money, or lack thereof. So got your paper and something to write with? Because we are going to dive right in, because we're already 20 past the hour and I want to respect your time, and I've got a lot to cover here. So let's dive right into savings. I want you to write down on that paper, how much do you actually have in your savings account? And I'm talking about liquid savings, that if something were to happen tomorrow, you could actually get at that money. So write it down. You know, I've heard and read that the average American has less than $1,000 in a savings account. And many people actually have no savings account at all. Like, they don't even have an account to put a savings into, because they just can't imagine themselves ever having enough to save. So whatever that is for you, I want you to write it down, look at it, and just sit with it for a moment. Because this is going to be pretty revealing. Now, as you look at your savings amount, look at that number. What are the two main feelings that are coming up for you? And how strong are they? So when you think in terms of from 0 to 10, 0 being, you know, I don't feel anything about it, you know, or no intensity, or 10 is like, wow, this is really, really intense. So write down the two main feelings. For some of you, it may be sadness. Some of you, there may be some fear, right? Because, you know, savings really represents security. You know, when you actually have an amount of money in your savings account, that money is the kind of money that brings security. So what's the feeling? Is it a sadness? Is it a fear? You know, write those down. And then from 0 to 10, how intense is that feeling? So give a number for both of them, or however many feelings you have. And then 2, what is it that you say in your head as you're looking at that number? Now, for some people, it's going to be something like, what an idiot. Which brings me to number 3, which is a past event. Is there a past event, a loss, a disappointment, something? Maybe you made a bad investment. Maybe you got talked into something and you lost a bunch of money. And when you look at your savings account or lack thereof, every time looking at it now, it's reminding you of that past event. So just notice, and you can write down a title to it. Just make it like if it were a movie, what would the title of that be? And write that down. And then the 4th item I want you to write down is, write down this sentence. This means I'm what? And fill in the blank. So like I said earlier, it could be something like, this means I'm an idiot. This means I'm irresponsible. This means I'm a failure. What is it for you? What comes up? What's the voice in your head saying? What do you make it mean about you? So if you're feeling strong emotions right now, don't worry. I'm going to do some tapping with you coming at the end if you just hang in there with me. But for right now, it's really, really important that you look at this, because most of us never really look at this. It's really important to shine the light on this so you can get clarity. So, and here's a question to ask yourself, or some questions that you need to ask yourself in order to get that clarity. So the first one, how long has it been this way? Really think about this. How long has it been this way? And the second question I want you to ask yourself, how much has this cost you? How much? Is it probably, over a lifetime? Probably for most of us, it's cost thousands and thousands of dollars. The next question, how much is it going to continue to cost you? So really looking at the pain and the cost is so clarifying. And now I want you to have a moment of self-compassion, because you've probably been so hard on yourself about this. And just, do you understand now what you're up against? And do you understand that when you have such negative feelings, do you understand how difficult it would be to actually sit down and make a plan for saving money and to actually follow through with that plan, when every time you even think about savings, all this negative emotion starts blasting into your nervous system? Do you think that it would be easy for you to actually make a plan to do something to change it? How could you do that if, and what happens is, because of all of this unpleasant emotion that comes up when you think about it, you just try to avoid it. Makes sense, because it's too painful to look at. But it's always there in the background. It's kind of like, when you have an app running on your device and it's kind of running in the background and you just forgot it was there. Well, that's kind of what's going on. It's draining your energy every single day. And I want you to, for the first time, be aware of it. Next, we're going to move right along to debt. Got a lot to cover here. So, how much debt do you have? For those of you who don't have debt, put your hands together and say, hallelujah. Thank you, God. Okay. For those of you who do, and I'm talking about debt that makes you feel bad, basically. So if you have a mortgage on your house, that may not be the type of debt we're talking about here, because if you feel good about that debt, because it's allowing you to have the home that you wanted to have, that's wonderful. That's not what I'm talking about. However, if you have student loan debt that you don't feel good about, because you don't really feel that, there are a lot of people out there that have student loan debt who feel almost like they've been kind of betrayed or led down a path. And so if you feel bad about your student loan debt, that would be something you want to write down. So write it down, look at it, sit with it. And again, what are the two main feelings that come up for you? And again, measure them. 0 to 10, how intense do you feel them? With debt, what we see a lot, what I've seen a lot with clients is shame. And sometimes they'll say, oh, I'm embarrassed. But, shame and embarrassment are pretty much the same thing. When I hear the word embarrassed, yeah, they're very ashamed. And shame is one of the lowest vibrating feelings there is. I mean, it is such a harmful, destructive emotion. Second thing, again, what do you say in your head? What are you saying about yourself? And the third one, again, past event. Was there a battle, a betrayal, something that you never forgave yourself for? Is there a past event that makes you say to yourself, you know what? I would not be in this position, in this debt, if this hadn't happened. So that's like having, a trauma. That's how you know it's a trauma, because it's something that makes you say to yourself, my money would not be looking like this if this had not happened. And the fourth thing, fill in the blank again. This means I'm what? Is it irresponsible? Is it stupid? Is it not a good money manager? What? Fill in that blank and really look at that. And by the way, if you're not 100% sure about the exact amount of your debt, just guess at it. You kind of know. Even though I know a lot of you have been trying to bury your head in the sand, because this is what we do around debt. Because, look at the negative feelings that it brings up. So we bury our head in the sand, we don't answer the phone, we don't open the letters. So oftentimes, you do have to kind of guess, because you haven't really been willing to look at it. So now, the real questions, clarity. I want you to ask yourself, answer this question. How long has it been this way? How long has this been going on? And how much has this cost you? And if this doesn't change, how much is it going to continue to cost you? Looking at this pain and the cost are very clarifying. This is consciousness raising stuff. And you cannot make conscious decisions in your money if you're not really conscious of how you actually got here in the first place, of what's going on behind that. And again, I want you to have a moment of self-compassion, because you've been beating yourself up in the background. You've been really beating yourself up for this. So do you understand now why and what you're up against? Do you understand now, why it's so hard for you to actually face the debt, sit down, make a plan of how to start repaying that debt? Because when you feel this bad about it, what's the likelihood that you're going to want to sit down and do something about it, or even talk to someone or try to get help? How open are you going to be to receiving inspiration, ideas from the universe on how to really solve this problem if you feel this bad about it? Because you've already got these thoughts going on that this is impossible. There's no way I'm ever getting out of this debt. If you already believe and you really believe in your heart that, this is impossible, I'm going to be in debt like this for the rest of my life, how are you going to actually be able to deal with it when you actually are coming from that belief and those awful feelings? We got to move right along, folks. I'm hoping that this is bringing a lot of clarity, but we're going into your income next. Getting even worse. So by now, you know the drill. So for your income, how much do you earn monthly? I want you to write it down, look at it, and sit with it. Here's where the clarity comes in. Now, if you are someone who, like me, had to in the beginning, work like a day job. And then I had my coaching income, my work as a healer and coaching. That was a separate income. You can actually write them both down, or you can just focus on what are you earning as a coach or as an entrepreneur. Because if you want to actually make that shift into becoming a full-time entrepreneur, and it doesn't really matter whether it's coaching, some of you might be authors, some of you might be artists, you're doing some kind of creative thing where you're going to have to, really, really put yourself out there and ask to be paid, So really look at that. So usually the first thing that comes up for most people, the first words out of their mouth is, it's not enough. So I want you to rate this statement. I want you to say it out loud. It's not enough as you're looking at your income. And rate that from 1 to 10. How true does that feel as you say it? And then what are the two main feelings that are coming up for you? And right away, you're probably hearing that voice in your head. What is it saying? And then, is there a past event that is kind of floating up in your memory? Maybe something about a job, financial trauma, something about earning money, or your parents. And, there's a very common story that I've heard many, many times with clients, not just once. I've heard this repeatedly. A story, something like, I shoveled the snow for my neighbor next door, and my neighbor paid me. And then when my mother found out, I got yelled at. And she said, you can't take money for that. You go and give that money back. Some sort of trauma where you earned money for the first time. You earned money and you felt good about it. And then your parent, one of your parents, shamed you about it and maybe even punished you for it, made you give the money back. So what kind of belief did that bring for you? What was the belief that came out of that? That, I'm not allowed to charge money, that, I'm supposed to just do everything from the goodness of my heart. And so many coaches, and I call them heart-centered healers, because, we really struggle with this, that we want to help, we want to give so much, we want to help humanity, that it's so hard. It's such a conflict when we have to actually charge for our services. And so we often undercharge, overgive. I have struggled with this really for years. And again, fill in the blank. What does this mean about you? This means I'm what? This means I'm irresponsible. This means I'm a loser. This means, what do you tell yourself as you look at that income number? And what are the feelings that are appearing? I know a lot of times, when people look at their income, a lot of sadness comes up. And maybe a voice saying, oh my God, what if it's always going to be like this? So write that down. And again, the brave question that you need to ask yourself, how long has it been this way? And how much has this cost you? How much is it going to continue to cost you? So again, looking at this pain and the cost is very clarifying. It raises your consciousness. Because if you get nothing else out of this presentation today, out of this class, what I want you to get is a conscious awareness of what you've been doing up to this point. Because when you get to that point, to a certain extent, it's like there's no turning back. You can't like go on pretending like you don't get this stuff. You know, it's really hard to just move forward in your life without, when you see this for the first time, it's like you have to do something. And that's a good thing. So again, let's have a moment of self-compassion, because you've really been very hard on yourself for this. Because that phrase that you wrote down, this means I'm, whatever you filled in the blank, do you realize that that's playing in the back of your head all the time? Every time you think about your income in any way, shape, or form, all these negative emotions are being triggered in your nervous system. And literally, when you have these negative emotions, they're triggering cortisol in your nervous system, in your body. When you're being flooded with cortisol, which is the stress hormone, you're literally going into a state of fight or flight or freeze, the freeze response. And for some of you, that would explain why, you know, sometimes, I know I see this a lot with coaches, and I've seen this in my own life, where I bought a coaching program, you know, that was supposed to help me with some aspect of my coaching business. And I have step by step, like checklists, and I have all the training that I need, and I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. And yet, for some reason, it was like walking through mud. I just couldn't get myself to take the actions that I needed to take. And this is what happens when your nervous system is being flooded with cortisol. Sometimes it puts you in absolute freeze response. Like, I can't even move. You're like the deer in the headlights. You know what you need to do, right? But you just can't. You can't move. And it's so hard to be there. So do you understand now why and what you're up against? I hope this is really, it's wakey time. It's time for consciousness here. And I know this is painful. I know this is painful to look at. But the thing is, I'm not, you know, this is what's been going on for how many years? We're moving right along now. We're going to get into your income goals. So here's what I want you to do here. And setting goals is something that is so necessary. I mean, there's actually been studies done about this. I believe at Harvard, they did studies, and they found that the people who actually had goals, written, measurable goals, were so much more likely. I mean, I don't know the percentage rates right now, right off the top of my head, but those are the ones who actually achieved and became successful. Whereas the ones who didn't have any goals, and this is why I say about doing the New Year's resolutions, that's not really the same thing as, you know, actually writing down a specific measurable goal. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to figure out, how much do you need monthly to pay the bills, to be able to save some money, to be able to start putting some money in that savings account, and start paying on some of your debt, and still be able to enjoy your life. Is it 50% more? Or do you need to double your current income? But whatever that number is, I want you to just look at it and sit with it. And if you're not sure, you know, try just imagine, like, what if you had an extra $1,000 a month? Just an extra $1,000. Would that be a big help to help you pay your bills, to save, to pay on your debt? So then just put that number down, your income plus the $1,000, and put that amount down. And when you have that amount, again, this is the first thing that usually comes out of people's mouths. I've heard this from clients. That's impossible. And I want you to measure how true, from 1 to 10, does that feel? For you to be able to make an extra $1,000 a month, let's just say, or to double your current income. Now, if you're saying, well, it's only a 3, then that is a clue that you need to up the amount. Whatever amount you have, if you're only at a 2 or a 3, I want you to double it. Why? Because I want you to actually get triggered. Because what happens is when you get triggered, what ends up coming up are the real feelings that are actually playing out in the background, again, like the apps that you have on in the background and you don't even know they're running. That's what I want you to bring up. So what are the 2 main feelings that are coming up when you look at that income goal that is double the income that you currently have? And what comes up in your mind? Something like people like us and how hard we have to work. What would your parents and family say about that goal? And then look at your inner value. Does something come up like, I couldn't earn that much because I'm whatever, fill in the blank? Or does something come up like, people will never pay me that much? That's impossible. So fill in that blank. I could not earn that much money because I'm what? And also just notice if there's a belief in there, like, no, if I were to double my income, I would have to work twice as much. This is really important, because if you believe that you have to work twice as hard in order to make twice as much money, you're going to sabotage. You will absolutely sabotage. So it's really important to see that that belief is there. And because that's a lot of what creates the self-sabotage. Because if you don't believe that you can achieve that goal, how hard, how much, how inspired are you going to be to take the action steps? Because it's not like we just do tapping and then money starts falling out of the sky. That's not how it works. We do the tapping and we start clearing some of these emotions. And then ideas start to come to us about how we can achieve these goals. But if you've got all these emotions causing you to go into fight or flight, or the freeze response, and you're that deer in the headlight, you absolutely will not take action, even if you know step by step what you need to do. And this is why I say, especially to coaches and entrepreneurs, before you spend thousands and thousands of more money, your hard-earned money, on another coaching program that talks about how to run your business, before you do that, you need to do this work with getting your money right and removing these blocks, because you will absolutely sabotage if you don't get these blocks out of the way. Okay, powerful questions again for clarity. How long has it been this way? And how much has this cost you? How much will it continue to cost you if you don't make changes this year? Again, I know this is not comfortable, but we're doing this for a good reason, because the pain, looking at the pain and the cost of this is very clarifying. It's very consciousness raising. And I know if you are one of the people on my email list or people that follow my YouTube channel, you are looking for consciousness and clarity. You want to be clear. And again, we're going to have a moment of self-compassion because you've been really hard on yourself about this. So do you understand now why and what you are up against? That's why I'm keeping you here in this painful spot, because it is powerful to really look at this and really get clarity. Now, so we've gone through the first 4 types of money. We have one more, which you may or may not have. And so I'm going to define it for you. It's called toxic money. So ask yourself this, does this apply to you? So toxic money is money that is owed to you that maybe you have been cheated out of, or you feel like you've been cheated out of it, or there's some sort of battle around it. The second characteristic or way to define it would be if you are receiving money that you really need to survive, but it has a price. And that price is that you have to give up your power in some way or your freedom in some way. In other words, the person who is giving you that money in some way has you under their thumb. And you have to stay in that position in order to receive that money, which you really do need to survive. So what are the emotions and thoughts about the people involved? Is there anger? Is there, and usually when there is betrayal, when there is, there's usually some anger. There's usually this, anytime you say, that's not fair, it's not fair what they're doing to me, there is an anger there, a sense of injustice. And, sometimes the receiving money that you need to survive, it could be you have a parent that's always kind of saving you whenever you fall down. Because for some of us, money has been such a place of brokenness in our lives. And there's so much more going on when we start looking at the relationship between that parent and you, or the person that you're receiving that money from. There's a lot going on in that relationship. So this is about so much more than money. So just think about it. Does this actually apply to you? Does any of these situations apply to you? Now, you may or may not think that you have toxic money right now. And then later on, if you were to work with me, you may find that you do, because you didn't even know it was there. So again, moment of consciousness. So I want you to write this down. And I'll leave the slide up for a little bit so you can copy this down. My nervous system is wired to connect these emotions with money and wealth. So look at those emotions that you wrote down for the 5 different types of money, and you can fill in the blanks, because these are the emotions that specifically apply to you. And then I want you to write down the sentence, I say these things habitually to myself about money and about me, but they are not true. So again, what were the things that you wrote down that you say to yourself habitually? Because if you're saying things like, I'm a loser, if that kind of self-talk is going on in the back of your mind habitually, wow, can you see how that might stop you from taking the actions that you need to take? And the last thing, these things together remind me of what? Again, is there a trauma, a memory that's coming up, something that happened maybe when you were a child? And maybe for some of you, there's going to be more than one event. So what I would do is give it a title, like it was a short movie. Give it a title and write that down. So, clarity and self-diagnosis. The main money emotions that I should focus on clearing. What is the main emotion that kept coming up with all of these different types of money? Next thing, the big belief that I'm battling with is, so what's the main belief that comes up? And then the third thing, I see now why I deal with and manage and spend and earn money the way that I do. This is called clarity. It's called consciousness. Because the truth of the matter is, most of us, every decision that we make with money and really with anything in our lives is actually being controlled by a 4-year-old version of ourselves, with all the programming that we got from mom and dad, from our tribe about family or about money. So now, true or false? If I don't change this, it will continue. Is that true or false? Is it true that the costs will continue? And also notice, as I said, this is bigger than money, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And for some of you, some of the traumatic memories that you may have may not directly have to do with money at all. So just notice that. And also notice what the cost has been. Notice that this has probably cost you way more than money. Because I know, I did the love map with a lot of you. And then you told me that you actually couldn't work with me because you didn't have enough money. You couldn't work with me because you couldn't afford it. So realize that not having enough money means you can't really do the work that you need to do to change other things in your life either. You see, you can't afford to get the coaching. You can't afford to get the real help that you need. And the other part of that is too, I know most of us would like to have a mate who has money, or, at least is a successful money manager. Maybe doesn't have to be a millionaire, but we want someone who is financially responsible. Now, according to law of attraction, if you are feeling this bad about the way that you handle your money, what is the likelihood that you're going to attract somebody who is a good money manager, who makes good money, How likely is that to actually happen? And then the other thing, like I mentioned, having debt, having a very small income, or it brings feelings of shame. Now imagine you're carrying all this shame inside of you about your money situation. Imagine going on a date with that kind of energy. It's, is that attractive energy? And you may think, well, he doesn't know. Well, I'm telling you, if you've got shame in your energy field, everybody feels it. They may not exactly be able to identify exactly what it is, but they kind of know. There's just, I don't know, there's just this weird energy around her. They feel it. Trust me, they feel it. So it's affecting every single aspect of your life. So let's just take a deep breath. This is a lot. I know it is. And I know this is a painful place to be in. But it's necessary. So I'm going to take a drink of my coffee. And then we're going to move right on. So I want you to really think about the power of this map that you just did. So this paper that you're holding in your hands, I want you to realize that it's one of the most powerful pieces of paper that you've ever held concerning your money and your future wealth. This money map really does have the power to transform every aspect of your life. And this is something that nobody ever really looks at. Think about everyone that you know in your life. Do they really have an idea? Do you think that anybody you know has ever really looked at each of these 5 types of money and done this deep work? But now you know it, you saw it, you felt it, and you have experienced everything that is in this money map. It's the power of clarity. And when you have a new conscious awareness like this, when you can actually see it and feel it, now you can actually take your decision to decide your own destiny with money, and you now have the power to shift it from a place of consciousness and awareness. You now have the ability to operate from a totally different way in the way that you earn and manage and create money in your life. And to be clear, focused, and take specific action. Because when it comes right down to it, the bottom line is your actions are going to need to change. But in order to do that, it's not really about trying to use willpower, because anybody that's ever tried to go on a diet using willpower, that doesn't really work. It's got to be inspiration that comes from within. It's got to feel natural. And when you move these blocks out of the way, it will feel natural. You'll automatically start taking actions that are going to be way different. It's just an automatic thing. It's not, struggling and white knuckling it, trying to force yourself to make changes. No, it comes much easier when you remove these blocks. So without the clarity, we can't make the powerful choices and decisions. And clarity lets you be decisive and take specific action. So the bottom line is you can change everything by taking actions that are coming from a place of consciousness. And when your specific money specific world changes, your inner world, your outer world will change. So just imagine, what would that mean for you? And I want to share with you, this is a real case study. Dr. Karen Moriarty, she is a very talented chiropractor. And she has done this work, and she shared a story about, I think she went home for Thanksgiving or something. And at dinner, she was talking about her money goals. And her dad said to her, Karen, don't do it. That money will ruin you. Money will corrupt you. And so she realized right then and there, that's the programming. That's the programming that had been running her life. And, you know, she had said she realized how much anxiety had been running in her nervous system around money. And how, she said, how utterly stupid I felt in money management. And she has completely turned things around. So the upside for her of rewiring all of this is that she doubled her entire retirement account in 6 months. And she always did have a thriving healing practice, but after working with this program, her energy changed so much. And she started giving more talks. She's now become a world-class speaker. And she's really stepping more into her power. And now she calls herself a millionaire money manager. So, you know, I wanted to share this story with you because this is a real story. This is someone who actually went through this work, and this is how it changed her. And so I want you to consider, you know, we're all starting from different places. Some of you may be, you know, only earning a few $100s a month. Some of you may be already earning $10,000 a month or more. But I'm telling you, when you do this rewiring, when you change the thoughts and the feelings that are playing out in the background, you will be able to take the next step up for you. Because we're not all starting from the same place. So some of you, you know, if you're already earning 10 grand a month, I'm just using that I just pulled that from the air. You may think, oh, well, I'm doing fine with money. Well, if you really feel that you're doing fine, that's good. But, you know, look at your money map and see what you really feel about money, and see how, you know, you could be still in some ways pushing money away. So here's what I recommend. I recommend that you seriously challenge your money beliefs that we just uncovered for you today. And the second thing is to rewire your nervous system around money. Using tapping. Tapping is my favorite method. And I will give you a tapping script, my gift to you. I'm actually don't have it ready in this particular slide presentation. Actually, I will actually do a tapping with you before we end this presentation today. And I want to help. One of the things that I promised was that I would show you the exact steps to having a completely new energy, action, and destiny with money, so that you can actually decide your own destiny with money. So this is something totally new. I have created a truly transformational program that goes beyond the mindset and law of attraction or just tapping or any one modality. It is specifically and laser focused on your money blocks. And it's a 3-phase program of transformation and results. So I'm going to share that with you now. Deep breath. This is not just another money mindset or abundance program. It is a comprehensive step-by-step process that helps you to let go of all of that subconscious money programming and to create a powerful now that is free from those limits. And there couldn't be a better time for this because, as I said, New Year's is right around the corner. We've got Christmas coming up. We've got Thanksgiving coming up. What better gift to give to yourself and your family than to have you remove your specific money blocks? If you're married, you know, this will be something you can share with your partner as well. So there are 3 phases of this transformation and results. So the first phase is consciousness raising clarity, which I just took you through with the money map. The second phase is results-based transformation, which is what we get to when we add in the specific method of using tapping around this. And then the third is unleashing your inner power so that you will just automatically start receiving inspiration and then move in the direction you need to move in, taking the action steps that you need to take that will bring in more money. Because like I said, it's not that we just start tapping on ourselves and money falls from the sky. That's not usually how it happens. Although if it does, let me know. But I think that would be pretty cool. But that's not really what we're about. We're actually trying to get you to clear the blocks so that you can take the actions. And it feels so much easier to take those actions when you don't have all of those painful emotions running in the background. So first, consciousness raising clarity. The clarity allows you to be free, decisive, and focused. So I've created this program, and each module of this program begins with clarity about the true reason that you and your money are not where you want to be. And you're going to see the clarity and the hidden roots, the beliefs, the rules, emotions, traumas that are connected to these limiting set points and the real cost that you have been paying in every area that money touches. By the way, the set points, I know I mentioned something about the money set points. If you look at what you wrote down as far as your income, it's real easy to see. That's your set point. That's your money set point. The exact amount of money that you are earning right now is your set point. But you're now becoming conscious of that. So if you want to raise that amount, you actually have to do some of this rewiring so that you can raise that set point. It's kind of like having a thermostat, a money thermostat. Because literally, and this is something I want you to understand, because while it may seem to you that you have all of these awful emotions because of your money situation, What's really going on here is that you already had this programming about money. And this is what has actually caused your income to be the way it is today, has caused your savings account to be the way it is today. All this programming, these beliefs, these emotions around money, that programming was already there. And it has created your money story that you currently have on that money map. It's really mind-blowing. And so until we clear out the feelings, the emotions that are playing out in the background, your money situation will not change. Okay, so the second part of the transformation is results-based transformation, meaning, we actually have to clear this stuff out. So you will be guided through my targeted use of EFT tapping that's going to lift the huge weight of your inner wealth blocks and quickly shift your entire perspective to clarity about what you truly want to create, and give you the openness and possibility and the renewed drive and focus. So why tapping? Because it works. That's why. But it is a technique that can consistently and measurably eliminate all of the three aspects of our inner programming: emotions, recurring self-talk, and the past money traumas. And recently, EFT tapping has been approved by the Veterans Administration. Back in the day when I first started with EFT, I think it was around 1995. I know I started when I was 13. Anyway, giving away my age here. But anyway, back then, there were no studies on EFT. It was, I used it because I found that it worked very well for myself and for my clients. So when something works, I use it. I don't actually need the formal studies. But I'm happy to say, though, that now they have the studies. And it has been proven, absolutely proven, to immediately turn down the stress response, okay? And that's what we have to do around your money. We've got to turn down that stress response. So the third part of the transformation, unleashing your inner power. Like I said with Dr. Karen, that was one of the changes for her, is that she went out and started speaking and really started showing up in a more powerful way. So this profound inner shift is going to activate your energy, your excitement, and a new determination about earning and managing money. So first, we're going to uncover and clear away everything that usually stops you from stepping up and taking action with bigger and bolder and more confident energy. And we're going to totally get rid of self-sabotage. Then we're going to open up your resources and your inner power, your brilliance. Because we all have brilliance and inner power, but oftentimes it's hard to access that because we have too much of this programming that's kind of covering it up. And you're going to be amazed by what you're able to be and give and do. And what I love about this work is that because it's consciousness raising, like, I would love to do this kind of work with, we see people in government today who are, kind of twisted around money. They're maybe not using money and power in the best way. But what I love about this work is that because it raises your consciousness, you are not going to turn into an a-hole just because you start earning more money. You're going to be a conscious money manager. And you're going to access more of your power and your brilliance and your purpose, your life purpose. You're going to be able to see that and feel that more clearly. So here's where it comes to the decision. You know, that's why I call this Decide Your Destiny with Money. So you have two choices today. You can either decide to change from the costly way that it's been to a whole new energy and reality in your money. You can take all of these aha moments that we've had today, go it alone. Or two, you can take the path of certainty and let me guide you step by step and ensure your success. This is my gift to you. I really want to be your guide in this. And I'm doing everything I can to make it possible, okay? Because you've told me that this is what you need. So, this program that I've created is for you if you want to have true, deep, embodied transformation, specifically in your money. This is for you if you want to unleash your inner power to become more alive, more on fire, more focused, and connected to your true passion and taking the actions that are necessary. They'll be inspired actions, by the way, because you're going to be receiving more inspired information about what it is you really need to do to change your money situation. And also remember, as I used the analogy of the splinter earlier, this is how we're going to remove that splinter. We're going to specifically shift to move forever from your energy system, the costly things that you've been holding on to, all of the emotions, so that you can have what is truly possible for you. And right now, you probably have no idea what is possible because you can't see it right now with all of these limitations. So, here it is. This is a rare opportunity. And this is the first time that I am doing a program like this, a group program. Because I've talked to a lot of you about doing one-on-one programs with me and coaching. And for some of you, you know, it's too expensive. You're not at a place where you can really do that right now. So I've created a live 6-week program. You can transform your money situation with me step by step. I'm going to guide you, and it's starting on October 6th. So you have, I think, you know, that's only 13 days away. We're going to do it on Saturdays because I felt that this would be probably the day that's going to be the best for most people. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 11 p.m. Pacific. Every single one of these classes is going to be recorded. I think I'm going to use Zoom, just like I'm using for this training now. I may also include slides with the training because I know a lot of you are very visual. It's nice to have the slides for you to take notes from, and you know, it can be very useful. So you'll have the actual video recording of each class. So if you can't be there every Saturday at the scheduled time, no worries. You can always go back and watch the video or listen to the audio, because I believe I can actually remove the audio from these as well. And you'll have access to those recordings 24/7. So, introducing Decide Your Destiny with Money Transformational Group Program. So this is where you're going to get step-by-step results to clear your inner money. for real changes in how you earn and create wealth. So again, this is clarity and results-based transformation. So the first modules are going to focus on uncovering and diagnosing and clearing the hidden money blocks so that you can get the big changes in the way you feel, which is going to result in changes in your actions. Again, you change the inside and the outside is automatically going to change. And it's not going to feel like you're efforting so much to do it because your body's energy is in alignment with that. So then we start setting bigger, outrageous goals, which is going to take you on a longer journey. And it's going to have a much bigger impact on your life. And then we're going to be unleashing more inner power, inspiring you to take action, inspiring you to new possibilities, and supporting you on a longer journey to your goals and your dreams. So let's take a look inside the Design Your Destiny with Money transformation. So, like I said, so the first module, it actually has 6 modules, 6 steps. It's the money map, which is kind of what we did today, but this will be a more in-depth. We're going to run through it again, and just in case some people couldn't make it to this training, this is what we just did. So we're going to do it in more depth in the program. And the aha moments are really the key so that you're never going to be fooled again. And you can focus all of your efforts for a very specific payoff in your money. This map is a complete overview of your entire money picture, revealing exactly what you need to clear and why. So there's the clarity. And next, in the next module, module 2, we're going to focus on freeing yourself to start earning more money, eliminating debt, and creating wealth. You're going to see and clear the deepest layer of how and why you limit and sabotage your income. So that's the first process, because I'm actually going to do a couple of processes in the second module. Now, the second part of the process is called the downside of wealth, where we're going to uncover and clear the reasons why you create debt and or sabotage your savings. Really important to see that. Module 3, we're going to do the process called the financial trauma process and a goal trauma process, which are going to allow you to reclaim your self-belief, your self-trust, and your confidence to release a massive amount of energy and drive towards your new goals. So we're going to release everything that has been keeping you not only from, it's been keeping you actually from even setting goals. Because if you don't think you can ever achieve those goals, you're never going to set them to begin with. And of course, people who don't set goals, it's very unlikely that they're going to have any kind of success, because it's basically they haven't committed to it. Also, we're going to uncover and clear the most massive source of negative energy, shame, and self-recrimination and self-doubt. And then we're going to open you up to your true embodied passion and a deeper desire for your dreams. So that is module 3. Module 4 is outrageous goals. Here's where we get into setting your goals. Going from it's impossible and it will be really hard to feeling like I can do it and I do deserve it. So we're going to start making bigger strides and see results in your income very quickly. You're going to become more focused, more enthusiastic in action, marketing yourself, and charging more for your services. And for those of you who just work a day job and you're fine with that, it'll be amazing to see, because, you know, when you do this kind of work, money can often show up in very surprising, unexpected ways, okay? Because you may think, well, you know, this is how much money I make and it can't really change. Well, when you move all of these things out of the way, the blocks out of the way, things do change in very surprising ways. So first, we're going to uncover and clear the first layer of the limiting beliefs about earning more money, so that you can open up to bigger ideas and taking inspired action. Because see, that's what happens when you remove these blocks. You'll start getting ideas and have synchronicities happen that you wouldn't have been able to put in place when you had all these blocks. And secondly, we're going to uncover and clear the next deeper level of what creates procrastination, and usually stops you from doing the very things that would create more money. Again, you can have all the checklists, you can know exactly what to do, but if you don't remove the blocks, you simply won't do it. You'll procrastinate, you'll leave things unfinished, and I know that which I speak because I've been there. So, Module 5. We're going to clear the vow of invisibility. You're going to open up to more excitement and willingness to be seen and to market yourself boldly. And it leads to making more money ASAP, like, how about now? Then we're going to also work in this module on the vow to be perfect, that vow of perfection, so that you can just be truly yourself and be more open to more real, feel more in your life, be more felt by others. And this can cause really dramatic shifts in the way that you take action and impact others. And Module 6. This one, we're going to clear your energy and your consciousness so that you can earn and create money in alignment with your highest joyful win-win vibration. This is going to be an eye-opening process that's going to reveal to you the biggest conflicts and the biggest hidden agendas in your inner value, your worth, and your unconscious motivation to achieve, and the self-sabotage and we're going to get rid of your self-sabotage and allow you to align your actions and goals with your true heart-based intention. Again, once you start moving these blocks out of the way, you know, your true life purpose starts to reveal itself for you. It's not a matter of going out and finding your purpose. It's more a matter of getting all this stuff out of the way that is really keeping you from actually feeling your purpose. So, your investment to join the program. The complete Design Your Destiny with Money transformation. The 6 powerful modules that are going to guide you step to step to specifically clear the blocks to money that have stopped you from having what you deserve. Also, as one of the bonuses with this program, I'm going to give you access to a private MeWe group so that you can connect and get support from a community of your peers and my coaches, support team. I will be in there, you know, so if you need any help, you're running into any problems, you can go into the MeWe group. Or if you've got something going on in your life, some people use, you can use this group to get an accountability partner, someone that you can meet up with every week by phone or however you want to do that, and discuss your goals and discuss the steps that you're taking. And I know in this group, we're going to have some talented people who are already coaches. Maybe you've been tapping for many years. Some of you do a lot of other healing modalities. So the point is, this is a really good opportunity to connect, because money really does not like when we isolate ourselves, okay? And that's one of the forms of self-sabotage, by the way, that often goes unrecognized, is that we tend to isolate and shut ourselves off. So your investment to join this program. So I want to stress to you, this is the first and probably the only time that you're going to have an opportunity to do this with me live, okay? Because these are live classes. Once we do the live classes, they will be available as downloads. Like if you were to wait, like I don't even know when I'm going to offer this program in the future again. I don't really know when I'm going to do that. So the time to do it is now. There's no better time, because this way you get to do it live. One of the bonuses that I'm going to offer as well is we're actually going to do the 6 live calls, or actually they're not just calls, they're trainings like what we're doing today. It'll be on Zoom. But I'm also going to offer 3 Q&A sessions where you, and I'll schedule those later because I'm going to find out what works for most of you. So you'll actually have some input as to when you want to do those sessions. And you can ask me anything. And if you need to do additional tapping with me, that is also the time to do it. Okay? So to get started today, I've made this so easy for you guys because I know, obviously you're having issues with money. So I actually have a 3-pay. So you can get started today with just $135, and then it says 3 more payments. It's actually 2. I'm sorry about that. So start with just $135 today, and then 2 more monthly payments of $135. 3 payments total. Or to save just a few dollars more, just 1 payment of $397. So you can choose. And notice I'm not actually charging you a big fee for spreading out the payments. I decided not to do that because I really want to make this available for as many of you as possible. So the other thing, 30-day money-back guarantee, which is kind of ridiculous because these are live classes, okay? So, but I trust the people in my tribe. You are my people. The people on my email list are conscious people. I trust that you wouldn't abuse this. But so I am offering a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if for whatever reason you go through the first 2-3 classes and you just say, you know what, this isn't for me, whatever the reason, just let me know. I want you to be happy. I've never had anyone ever ask me for their money back, but I just want you to feel sure before you make this choice, this decision. So that means you can start when we start the program, again, it's the first Saturday of October, which I believe is the 6th. Start transforming your blocks, go through the processes for 30 days. And then anytime within that 30 days, you have the option to cancel and receive 100% of your money back. I am putting actually my personal email here, right here towards the bottom. It's EFT4love@gmail.com. Okay. So any questions, you can also email me there. So here is where you get to join up. So just click the link that appears right there. It's going to take you to a page on my website, and you can choose which plan works the best for you. Remember, again, 100% risk-free. There is no risk whatsoever. I'm trying to make this so easy for you. In fact, I'm going to switch this because I'm going to actually take you to my page. Yeah, so when you follow that link, here we go. This is the actual page on my website. And again, it will detail for you. Let me read off. This is what the package includes. It says 60-minute group coaching. Probably, to be honest with you, we'll probably do closer to 90 minutes. Then you're going to get the recordings of all of the sessions. There's extra bonuses. One of those is the private MeWe group. So as soon as you register, I will email to you an invitation to join that group. And again, if you scroll down, it shows the different modules and the description of each module, step 1, step 2, step 3. These are all the modules. Keep scrolling down. And I have a fast action bonus for the first 4 people who sign up. And I put a date there by midnight, September 23rd, but I'm just going to say for the first 4 people who sign up. This is only for the first 4 people because I can't do it for everybody. Because this is a free 40-minute medical intuitive reading. This is the medical intuitive reading that I would normally charge $397 for. This is a one-on-one. So I can only do it for the first 4. Like I said, there are 3 bonus Q&A calls, and the dates for those will be announced because I'm going to ask you, for you when you join this group, when you join this program, I will be asking you to tell me what dates would be best for you, and we'll get a consensus of what works out best. But remember, if you cannot come to the live calls for whatever reason, they're all going to be recorded and you'll have access to them. So don't let that be something that stops you. And then if you can't make the live training calls, you may be able to make the bonus Q&As. And I will also do tapping with you in those bonus Q&As. We'll see whatever the group needs, okay? Also, I'm going to do an additional bonus post-program follow-up group session to support you in stepping up to new places, to help you to step forward in wherever you want to go from here. So again, you scroll down a little bit more. Your investment, $397 to pay in full today. Button's right there. Or choose the easy pay, the 3 payments of $135. So you can start today at $135. Wow. I hope that you will let me to accompany you on this journey. Again, let's just take a deep breath. I know that I've shown you a lot today, and I know I've taken you to some uncomfortable places. And I know that you can see that this was necessary. It had, for you to do this, for you to get clarity. So I hope, and I really look forward to sharing this journey with you guys. So again, I'm going to take you back into the slide. Again, there's 100% risk, money back guarantee. And remember, this isn't just another money mindset or abundance program. It's a step-by-step process to help you let go of the subconscious money programming and create a powerful now that is free from all of those limitations. So right now, you can decide your destiny with money. You can click by joining the link that's right here on this page. Again, 1 payment of $397 or 3 payments of $135. You can copy and paste the link. I don't think it'll click, but copy and paste it and make a decision. It may be the most powerful decision you ever make. And I guarantee that you won't regret it. And again, there is nothing, there's no greater gift that you can give to your family and to yourself. We've got holidays coming up. We've got Thanksgiving. In fact, I think we'll just be finishing the last module right before Thanksgiving. And so what I want to see from you is lots of comments in the MeWe group about how everything is changing for you. I want to see those comments about the surprising ways that money is showing up in your life. And when you move all of these blocks out of the way, I am sure, I know, because this has changed my life. I mean, it has caused me to go from being horribly in debt to raising my FICO score by 200 points within, I don't know, a little yet less than 2 years. 4xing my income. And that my income does vary a little bit, but basically it went up about 4 times. And I want to see the same kind of results for you. So, again, get the bonus, the quick action bonus. You actually, on that bonus, that is a free medical intuitive reading. I normally charge $397 for that. So actually, if you jump in, if you're one of the first 4 people to jump in, the bonus that you are getting is worth the entire price of what the program is, because the program that I'm charging is $397. So I'm trying to make this a no-brainer, okay? I can tell that I'm getting a little bit tired and my voice is starting to give out a little bit. But I look forward to working with you, and I hope you'll jump in now. Again, just copy and paste this link. If you have any questions, concerns, My email address, EFT4love@gmail.com. Or if you're on my email list and that's how you got here, reply to one of my emails, okay? If you have any questions for me. All right. So I'm going to leave you with that. Oh, I did promise to do a little bit of tapping with you. Oh my goodness. We are going so over in this. So for those of you who don't know how to do tapping, it's okay. Actually, I'm not going to start in the karate chop point. All you have to do is follow what I'm doing. I'm tapping on the top of my head. There you go. Wow. I've really seen a lot today. Follow what I'm doing. Just tap the beginning of the eyebrow, one side or both sides. This has really been eye-opening. Now move to the side of the eye. And part of me may be tempted to say that old familiar phrase, I can't afford it. Under the eye. Oh my God, when am I going to stop using that as my excuse for everything? Under the nose, I can see now that that excuse has really been costing me. So I'm choosing to let go of my fear, and I'm choosing to choose. I'm choosing to decide my own destiny with money. I honor that I still do have some fears. Maybe I have fears about whether I can really afford to do this. What if it doesn't work for me? Again, there's nothing to lose here. Money back guarantee. There's part of me that's excited because I really, really want to do this. I have so many awful emotions around money. And I've seen today that they've been holding me back for so long. And I really want to make things change in the coming new year. I really want to have a much better Christmas this year with more money to spend this year. And I'm asking my higher self, what do I need to do to make that happen? Is this the right choice for me? Is joining this program the right choice for me? I'm asking my higher self. And I will choose to trust my feeling about that. But I will choose not from a place of fear, but rather I will make this decision from a place of calm, because I'm already feeling calmer just by doing this tapping. And I know that I will make the right decision for me. Now take a deep breath. I don't want to get you all tapped out today, so it's just a short tapping, because I still want you to realize the time to take action is now. So I don't want you to get so relaxed that you're going to not take any action, because again, think about what this has been costing you and make a decision to move forward in your life today. Email me if you have any questions. If you need to meet with me, I call it a Decide Your Destiny session. You can actually meet with me on the phone or through Zoom. We can have a private meeting if you have, special concerns or questions. And I think that about wraps it up. This has been really long, and thank you for being here with me today. And I really look forward to connecting with you in the program. So once again, thank you. And I can figure out how to sign off. um, okay. Oh, this is so wonderful. Okay, here I am again. I love technology. Okay, once again, I look forward to seeing you in the program and helping you to move forward with your money and creating a whole new money story. Okay, so I'll see you there.